How are you all? I hope you all are safe at home. And welcome to the online class. Now let us recall what we have discussed in the previous class. So, how the digestion occurs in the stomach, students? Digestion is very complex as it goes in deeper to the digestive system. As it goes on from one part of the digestive system to the another part, it is little bit complex. So we have discussed that in stomach some juices, some digestive juices are secreted, and those digestive juices, nothing but the digestive juice secreted in the stomach is nothing but gastric juice, and within the gastric juice we have hydrochloric acid, and that means HCl. So this HCl helps to remove bacteria from the stomach that enters through the food along with the food and kills the bacteria. And here this acid not only acts in killing the bacteria, but it also helps in breaking down the proteins in the food into simpler substances. Other side, the gastric juice which is secreted by this stomach also helps in breaking down this complex biomolecules, nothing but the proteins, into simpler substances. In this manner, in the stomach, the food will be digested. In the stomach, the food may be digested. And whatever the leftover, whatever the food that is undigested, that means the total food will be thrown. Both the digested food as well as the undigested food will be sent, and it will enter into that means the food reaches now into the small intestine, the next part of the digestive tract, that is small intestine. So how the digestion occurs in the small intestine we'll discuss. So how the digestion occurs in the small intestine, students? In small intestine, and where the small intestine is located? Where the small intestine is located? If you consider, this is the mouth, and this mouth opens into a tube-like structure called esophagus, and this esophagus leads to stomach, a J-shaped structure called stomach, and next to this we are having the small intestine. Here this is the large intestine, and towards this here we are having the small intestine. Next, immediately to this stomach we are having small intestine. Surrounding this we are having the large intestine. Like this we are having, and this large intestine will extend to a structure called rectum and anus. So if you consider this particular thing, here we are having the small intestine here. So small intestine is like this. If you consider the stomach, if you consider this stomach, so you know that stomach is a J-shaped structure, and next to the stomach we are having the small intestine like this. So how this small intestine may carry out the digestion process? So in the small intestine we know that different, like in case of stomach, how the digestive juices are secreted when the food enters into the small intestine after the undergoing digestion in the stomach. So whatever the food that enters into the small intestine, that there immediately what happens in the small intestine means the small intestine will secrete Small intestine will secrete some digestive juices. So what are the different digestive juices that are secreted? One type of juices are secreted by the cells of the small intestine. One type of juices are secreted by the cells of the small intestine itself. So from the cells, some digestive juices are secreted. Other than this, certain organs in our body, like we can say the liver and pancreas. Certain organs in our body, like liver and pancreas, they secrete these. We know that liver is the largest gland. Liver is the largest gland in the body. And pancreas, liver and pancreas. What this liver will secrete? Liver secretes a digestive juice called bile juice. Whereas the pancreas, what this pancreas will secrete? The pancreas will secrete pancreatic juice, and these pancreas are located just below the stomach. So if you consider, this is the stomach. Okay. Under this we are having, beneath the stomach we are having this pancreas. So pancreas, they will secrete pancreatic juice, and just here we are having this particular largest gland called the liver is situated just above this particular stomach. So that means here both the pancreas. So here we can say that the liver secretes bile juice and the pancreas, they will secrete, the liver secretes bile juice and the pancreas, they will secrete pancreatic juice. So we know that liver is the largest gland. So here if you can take consider this small intestine, how the small intestine will carry out this digestion means it is a very complex process, and we can say that this in the small intestine the complete digestion of the food materials may be carried out. In small intestine, all the food, all the biomolecules, all the nutrients which are present in the food may be digested. And here we can say how these digestive juices may act on the food that enters into the small intestine and how the digestion will be carried out. I will explain. So when food enters into the small intestine, we have discussed that the cells of the small intestine will secrete digestive juices. Not only that, some other organs in our body also secrete digestive juices into the small intestine. So in small intestine, that means the digestive juices are secreted by the cells of the small intestine. Not only that, other organs like liver and pancreas, which are present out of the stomach, also secrete digestive juices outside the small intestine. They also secrete these juices, that means digestive juices, into the small intestine. So here the liver and pancreas are the two different organs which may secrete the digestive juices like bile juice and pancreatic juice. So this pancreas are situated just beneath the stomach, and this liver is present just above the stomach. So both of them, they secrete the digestive juices into the small intestine. So now here we have discussed that liver secretes bile juice, right? So first of all, we have to know how the digestion begins. So as food enters into small intestine, what happens to that food? The digestive juices will be secreted immediately. So first, what type of juice will be secreted? Here, the bile juice. This bile juice is present, or we can say stored. It is produced by liver, but it is stored in gallbladder. So whenever the food enters into the small intestine, immediately the bile juice which is stored in the gallbladder, the bile juice which is stored in gallbladder, it will be released into the small intestine. It will be released into the small intestine. So that what happens? This bile juice will act on the food that enters into the small intestine, and this bile juice helps in broken down of, or we can say it helps in breaking down of the fats. So fats are digested by the bile juice. So bile juice is a digestive juice secreted by liver and which is stored in the gallbladder. Whenever the food enters into the small intestine, this bile juice will act on the fats that are present in the food. So these fats are broken down into tiny droplets. These fats are broken down into tiny droplets. Now, whatever the other digestive juices secreted by the cells of the small intestine, that means the digestive juices which are secreted by the small intestine itself, now they will act on these tiny droplets. So what they will do, these tiny droplets, they will further break down the tiny droplets into fatty acids and glycerol. So when food enters into the small intestine, what happens immediately? The bile juice which is stored in the gallbladder, secreted by the liver, and that bile juice will be introduced, or it will enter into the small intestine, and it will act on the fats present in the food, and it will break down the fats into tiny droplets, and this the tiny droplets which are produced are easily absorbed by the small intestine cells. They are easily absorbed by the small intestine cells, and then the small intestine cells may secrete the digestive juices, and they may break down, or we can say they may break down these tiny droplets into fatty acids and glycerol. And next comes this particular, we can say how this pancreatic juice may act on this food, and how it may digest this food, how it is helpful for digestion of food in the small intestine. So we have discussed that the liver secretes the bile juice, and it may break down the fats in the food, and it may convert the fats into tiny droplets which can be easily absorbed by the cells of the small intestine. And when these tiny droplets are absorbed by the cells of the small intestine, the cells may secrete the digestive juices, and they will break down these tiny droplets into fatty acids and glycerols. That means the fats are dissolved here, the fats are broken down here with the help of the bile juice. Now, what is the action of the pancreas, and how pancreas are helpful for us in the breakdown of the food. So the pancreatic juice, after the action of the bile juice, how the pancreatic juice is helpful for the digestion of food. So bile juice had acted, and now the pancreatic juice, it will act on the remaining nutrients which are present in the food, and break down those complex nutrients into simpler forms. So here the pancreatic juice now acts on the starch, whatever the starch that is left over in the food after digestion. in the mouth, whatever the leftover starch is present, whatever the undigested starch is present, that may be degraded, that may be broken down here in the small intestine with the help of the pancreatic juice. So now the starch will be broken down into simple sugars. Like we can say glucose. Now this pancreatic juice not only acts on the starch but it also acts on proteins. Whatever they are present in the proteins which are present in that food can be digested, and it can be, the proteins can be broken down into, we can say, the amino acids, which are the simpler forms of proteins. So the simpler forms of proteins are amino acids. So in this way the pancreatic juice may act. So the pancreatic juice mainly acts on the starch, and it will degrade the starch into simple sugars like glucose, and it also has some action, or it also shows some action on the proteins, and it will break down the proteins into amino acids. And once again we'll discuss the complete process of digestion that occurs in the small intestine. So once the food enters into the small intestine from the stomach, what happens here? Immediately two organs are activated. Two organs which are present in our body becomes activated. So the first one is liver, which is the largest gland in our body, and second organ is pancreas. Second organs are pancreas, and these two organs, they are activated and they may secrete some digestive juices. Other than the digestive juices which are secreted by this liver and pancreas, the small intestine cells also, they secrete some digestive juices. So with the action of all these digestive juices secreted by the cells of the small intestine, liver and pancreas, the food that enters into the small intestine may be digested completely. So in the small intestine, the complete digestion of food may take place. So here, first of all, the liver, it secretes some digestive juice. So it secretes a digestive juice called bile juice, and this bile juice will be generally stored in gallbladder. And this bile juice will act on the fats that are present in the food. So this bile juice will break down the fats into tiny droplets, and these tiny droplets are absorbed absorbed by the cells present in the small intestine. So small intestine contains this tiny cell. It is having some cells. It is made up of some cells. So those cells which are present in the small intestine, they will absorb these tiny droplets, and inside the cells of the small intestine, the digestive juices are secreted, and then the digestive juices, they may break down these tiny droplets into fatty acids and glycerol, which are the simpler forms of fats. So fatty acids and glycerol are produced from the tiny droplets by the action of digestive juices secreted by the cells of small intestine. Now next comes the pancreas. This pancreas, they will secrete the pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice may further act on the proteins. So this pancreatic juice helps in breaking down the proteins and starch. As the proteins are broken down, it may produce simpler substances called amino acids, whereas the starch is degraded here, it may produce simpler substances called sugars. This is all about the digestion of food in small intestine. Here we have to know one fact, that the proteins the carbohydrates, nothing but the starch, and the fats. All these three are very complex biomolecules, and they have to be degraded or broken down into simpler substances for its metabolism or for its utilization by our body. Whereas if you consider the vitamins and minerals, they themselves, they are the simpler substances. So they are not, that means there is no necessary for them to be broken down and to be digested by our digestive tract. So they can be easily absorbed by the cells and they are metabolized, that means they are utilized by our cells. So that in case of vitamins and minerals, there is no need of any digestion and no need of any action of the digestive juices, because the vitamins and minerals, they themselves are the simpler substances. So in case of vitamins and minerals, no digestion occurs and no need of digestive juices. See students, this is the overall picture of our digestive system. Mouth, here esophagus, and here this is the stomach, and next to the stomach we are having the small intestine, this is the large intestine, and large intestine ends with rectum, and here we are having anus, and here this is the liver, and this is gallbladder, and this is the pancreas, right? So these are the different parts which are important for us to study, and which play a major role in the digestion of food. Now we are discussing about the small intestine. Here in the small intestine, the food which has been digested in the stomach, that enters into the small intestine, and in the small intestine the cells of the small intestine will secrete some digestive juices, and other parts like liver, which secretes the juice, the bile juice, into the gallbladder, and this gallbladder will store that bile juice, and whenever the food reaches the small intestine, this gallbladder will secrete the juice into the small intestine. Similarly, the pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which are present, this pancreatic juice will be secreted into the small intestine, and thus they show their action. So the bile juice secreted by the gallbladder, that is released by the gallbladder during digestion, will act on the, we can say, the fats, and they will dissolve the fats to release the fatty acids and glycerols. Whereas the pancreatic juice secreted by the pancreas will act on the starch and the sugar, starch into sugars. It will release, that means it will act on the sugar starch and it will release the sugars. And not only that, it will also act on the proteins and degrade the proteins or break down the proteins into amino acids, which are the simpler forms of proteins. This occurs in the small intestine. So that means after digestion has occurred in the stomach, the remaining digestion occurs in the small intestine. That means the complete digestion may happen. That means whatever the leftover starch, leftover proteins, and whatever the fats they are present in the food, that can be digested completely in the small intestine. After digestion, the digestion has been completed in the small intestine. The absorption of the digestive food happens in the small intestine itself. So that we will discuss in the next class. Here we can say, once again we'll go to the overall discussion that how the digestion may takes place. So in this case, here when food enters into the mouth, here the salivary glands may get activated and they will release the salivary amylase, and that salivary amylase will act on the food, and it will mainly act on the starch present in the food and degrade the starch into sugars. And next, the food reaches, it will travel through, and this particular pharynx, which is situated here next to the mouth, that means which is attached to the mouth, that we call it as oropharynx, and through that this food will enter into the stomach through the esophagus. So esophagus is the long tube which helps in the transportation of food from mouth to the stomach. So it is a connecting tube between the mouth and the stomach. So with the help of the esophagus, the whatever the muscular movements are happening, that means the through peristaltic movements, the food will be thrown into the or squeezed into the stomach. And this stomach is a J-shaped structure, and inside the stomach the remaining digestion may happen. So whatever the food enters into the stomach after digestion from mouth, this food will be undergone some changes or digestion with the help of the digestive juices secreted by the stomach. And as the food enters into the stomach, immediately the digestive juices are secreted. So the digestive juice secreted by the stomach is gastric juice, and that gastric juice will it contains some acids, that means the hydrochloric acid. That hydrochloric acid is very much acidic, we can say, that it can prevent, or we can say it can kill the bacteria that enters along with the food. So that as not only that, this acid, hydrochloric acid, also helps in degradation or breakdown of proteins into simpler substances, and moreover the gastric juice will help in the digestion of proteins to form simpler substances. And whatever the food is, that means the food has been digested in the stomach, and leftover digestion may happen in the small intestine. Now the food reaches to the small intestine, and there in the small intestine the remaining, that means whatever the other leftover starch, proteins and the fats are there, that means whatever the fats are not degraded till now, they may be degraded or broken down, or we can say digested in the small intestine. Thus here after complete digestion occurs in the small intestine, those absorbed, that means those digested food can be absorbed by the small intestine and assimilated, and they may be digested. Okay, so digested means it will be sent out. So in the next class we will discuss about how the small intestine absorbs the nutrients from, that means absorbs the digested food, and how this assimilation may happen, and how the digestion may happen through the digestive tract. I hope children you understood this topic very well. In the next class we will discuss about how the assimilation takes place, and how the food, whatever the food, how the absorption of the food may happen, and we will discuss about the remaining content in the next class. Until then, be safe and be protective. Thank you children.